one of the ways to accomplish the goals that I have for tonight, or for that first night, and also to get them acclimatized to the fact that team learning really is going to be different, is to give them an experience with how it is the content gets covered in team learning. That is, a readiness assessment test. So what I do is I give them the reading that I have them do is the syllabus. What I want them to do is get from the syllabus the things that they need to know and test whether or not they've got them, the things they need to know before they set the grade weights and before they leave to go get the material to read for the next class period. Okay. Each team has a folder. Go ahead and take it. Inside, well, let me show you what's in it first. And we'll use these a fair amount. It has in it the tests, the answer sheets. Everybody needs a pencil, incidentally. I hope you got them. It has instructions on how to do the appeals. And it has appeals forms. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pass these out. Do not actually take the test, start the test until you get some instruction. You want to head 4s back too? Okay. Here's what happens. The big picture is this. And I'll leave this up during the actual test. It's an individual test, followed by a group test, followed by appeals, followed by discussion. Within those, here's what happens. You pass out the test so everybody's got them in your hand because you're going to need the test to get this next instruction. Okay, there's something funny about the answers, the numbering of the questions. What do you see there that's funny? Anybody? What do you see is funny about the question numbers? It's ranges. It's not just numbers. Years ago, I had some students who say to me, I hate multiple choice tests because I can always narrow it to 2, but then I guess the wrong one, and even though I got partial credit, partial knowledge, I don't get partial credit. And I thought, well, maybe I'd do something about that. And I didn't know what to do because the machine doesn't allow you to do that. So I thought, well, why don't I give people a chance to answer each question 3 times? And then if they want to, they can split their answers, split their points. You get 3 points per question, but you can split it between more than one answer, and you get credit for this number of answers that are correct. So each question is worth 3 points, and you can get 1, 2, or 3 points. Now, if you're sure it's true, okay, if you're sure it's true, what should you do? On 1, you'd put an A. On 2, you'd put an A. And on 3, you'd put an A. If you're not really sure, but you think it's true, then you got a choice. You can say, let's go for broke on this one, and you can put them all on A, or you could put A, B. Now, if you put A, B on the first one, what's the worst you could do? 1 point out of 3. But what's the best you could do? 2. So you don't want to just split just for splitting. If you know you need to get them all on the same one, and you need to fill in all the answers. If you fill on A on 1, the answer machine is not going to assume that you knew that it was A on 2 and A on 3. You've got to fill in all the spaces. When you get down to the multiple choice, if you don't have any idea, you could say, well, this one sounds interesting, and put 3 on C, or you could go 1 on A, 1 on B, 1 on C, and you'd get a high 3/5 probability of getting at least 1 point, but you would know that's the best you could do on that question is get 1 point if you put an A and a B and a C. Any questions about that? Okay, 3 points per question. You answer on both the test and the answer sheet. Why do you answer on the test and the answer sheet? The reason is because when you finish taking your individual test, your answer sheets go in the folder. And you bring those to me, and I'll give you an answer sheet for your team. And then you retake the same test as your team. While you're taking your team test, you'll probably want to know how you answered the individual questions. And the only way you'll know is if you've recorded it on your test as well as your answer sheet. Okay? Now, when you take the group one, And you can start taking the individual or the group one as soon as I have your folder and you have an individual answer or a group answer sheet. It's also closed book. It's also 3 points per question. Make sure you got your group on the answer sheet, group number on the answer sheet. Bring it up, and we'll run it right through, and we'll post the group score on the board. Then it becomes open book for appeals. And unless you've got a perfect score on the test, and I don't get many perfect scores on this test, unless you got a perfect score on this test, I want you to do an appeal so you can see what happens to the appeals. And practice doing that so you know how to do it next time for your real test. And you use evidence from your readings, and then we'll have questions to clarify issues, and then I'll have you hand in all the stuff to me. Okay, questions?